1540 Great Bible, Hebrews, Summary to Chapter 9. The profit and worthiness of the Old Testament, and how far the New excelleth it. The 9th chapter. The Old Testament then had verily ordinances, and servings of God, and worldly holiness. For there was a fore-tabernacle made, wherein was the light, and the table, and the showbread, which is called holy. But within the second veil was there a tabernacle, which is called holiest of all, which had the golden censer, and the ark of the testament overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot with manna, and Aaron's rod that sprung, and the tables of the testament. Over the ark were the cherubims of glory, shadowing the seat of grace, of which things we cannot now speak particularly. When these things were thus ordained, the priests went always into the first tabernacle, which executed the service of the holy things. But into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself, and for the ignorances of the people. Wherewith the Holy Ghost this signified, that the way of holy things was not yet opened, while as yet that the first tabernacle was standing, which was a similitude for the time then present, in which were offered gifts and sacrifices that could not make the minister perfect, as pertaining to the conscience, with only meats and drinks, and divers washings and justifyings of the flesh, which were ordained until the time of Reformation. But Christ, being an high priest of good things to come, came by a greater and a more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, and found eternal redemption. For if the blood of oxen and of goats, and the ashes of a young cow, when it was sprinkled, purifieth the unclean, as touching the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ, which through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to God, purge your conscience from dead works, for to serve the living God? And for this cause is he the mediator of the New Testament, that through death, which chanced, for the redemption of those transgressions that were under the first testament, they which are called might receive the promises of eternal inheritance. For whereas is a testament, there must also of necessity be the death of him that maketh the testament. For the testament taketh authority when men are dead, for it is yet of no value, as long as he that maketh the testament is alive, for which cause also neither the first testament was ordained without blood. For when Moses had declared all the commandment to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats, with water and purple wool, and hyssop, and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, This is the blood of the testament, which God hath appointed unto you. Moreover, he sprinkled the tabernacle with blood also, and all the ministering vessels, and almost all things are by the law purged with blood, and without shedding of blood is no remission. It is need, then, that the similitudes of heavenly things be purified with such things, but that the heavenly things themselves be purified with better sacrifices than are those. For Christ is not entered into the holy places that are made with hands, which are similitudes of true things, but is entered into very heaven, for to appear now in the sight of God for us, not to offer himself often, as the high priest entereth into the holy place every year with strange blood. For then must he have often offered since the world began. But now in the end of the world hath he appeared once, to put sin to flight by the offering up of himself. And as it is appointed unto all men that they shall once die, and then cometh the judgment, even so Christ was once offered to take away the sins of many, and unto them that look for him shall he appear again without sin unto salvation.